Hi, I'm Olympic gold medalist Chris Thorsness. Somebody with a gold medal from the Olympics isn't the person you'd think would be having heart disease, but it can happen to anyone. It can happen to me. It did happen to me. In 2007, I had a heart attack, and I've learned that heart disease is something that happens to lots and lots of people. No matter how well you take care of yourself, you can still end up on the short end of that stick. I was a guest on Second Opinion's Cardiac Comeback show a few years ago, and here's a clip from that show.
So I heard you say, this is July 2007. What happened that morning?
Well, I woke up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. Little discomfort right back here, my upper back. Thought I'd maybe just pulled a muscle because I'd been out rowing the day before. Got up, went downstairs. I was on the floor in the living room doing stretches, trying to stretch it out, and wasn't really loosening up. So I thought, I'll just lay down on the couch and read my book for a little while and maybe go back to sleep. But as soon as I lay down, felt like I'd been stabbed. And I jumped up, and then everything went crazy.
Describe that.
I was soaked with sweat. I was nauseous. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. And I had the most incredible pain in my arms and my head. It felt like they were being crushed by a steamroller.
Now, that's a pretty classic symptom of heart pain that I was taught. You called your doctor, and what did your doctor say?
Well, I got a doctor on call, not my regular doctor, and he listened to my symptoms and had me take my temperature, and then told me that I had the flu.
Well, yeah, fortunately, things turned out well that time, and I recovered pretty well. And then in 2016, shortly before we taped this show, I had to go back in because I developed some significant blockage in my left coronary artery. But they cleaned it out and gave me a stent and sent me on my way. And things have been pretty good since then. I play ice hockey and row and do a lot of things. I try to stay really active. But about a year ago, I started noticing that there just really wasn't something right. I was feeling a lot of fatigue that I really shouldn't have been feeling. I started getting some episodes of real profound fatigue. And talked to my cardiologist, who thought, well, there's nothing really problematic here. It's just some fatigue. We'll increase your medication. And we went through several rounds of doing that, where I would start to feel bad again, and my medication would be increased. And but I was becoming more and more concerned. I was noticing that just my strength and my stamina wasn't good. So I kept kind of pushing with my doctor, and finally she scheduled a stress test, the treadmill thing, which I did with a mask on, which was an additional challenge. And I did well on that, and I usually do well on those things. And so she indicated that she thought that, okay, you're really fine. There's really nothing going on here. And about 2 weeks after that, I started having severe chest pain when I would exercise. And I knew that that was a sign that there was something really seriously wrong. And so I called my doctor's office, talked to the nurse, told her what was going on. She took a message, called me back later, said, well, the doctor said you should just really increase your meds again. And I thought, wait a second, that's not right. I'm having strong chest pain when I exercise. This is not good. And so then I did talk to my doctor eventually, and she agreed, albeit reluctantly, to schedule me for an angiogram the following Friday. That was Monday. So then I took it very easy in the intervening days. I was pretty afraid, I have to tell you, because I knew that there was something serious happening. And the morning I was supposed to go get my angiogram, I got up a little early, wanted to have a little quiet time before I went to the hospital. And maybe 5 minutes after I got downstairs, it was just like a wave hit you. If you've ever been at the beach and the wave comes up behind you, just knocks you down. That's basically what happened to me. I was on the kitchen floor before I really knew what was happening. and couldn't get up and was barely able to stay awake. And fortunately, I called out, and by some miracle, my wife heard me upstairs and came running down. Figured out what was happening, got on the phone to 911 again, gave me some nitro, put it under my tongue so that I could start that process of trying to knock down whatever was happening, because it was clearly a cardiac event, as they called them. The EMTs came and loaded me into their vehicle and took me up to the hospital. They rolled me into the ER, and the doctor there was looking at my chart, and he said, "This says you're scheduled to have an angiogram today." And I said, "Yeah, I was. I just didn't expect to come to the hospital in an ambulance." He said, "Well, you're getting an angiogram today, that's for sure." So they did that and found that this time my right coronary artery was 95% blocked. Got another stent. And if any of the people watching this have ever had one of these things, you know that you start to feel better pretty quickly. And I did. Within a week, I was kind of my old self again. And ever since then, I've been feeling great. And my stamina has returned and my strength has returned. And I really feel like my old self again. We've talked a lot about the need to be our own advocates. And clearly, both of these experiences that I've had have made really clear to me that I have to, I need to be an advocate for myself, and we all need to be. It's very important. Doctors know a lot, but they don't know everything. And we really know what's going on in our bodies. But I'm happy to report I'm running around like usual, and my old frisky self, and I look forward to many more years of happiness and health. It was great to be here. It was great to be back again on Second Opinion. And I hope that you will follow Second Opinion on Facebook with Joan Lunden. Take care, everyone, and stay well.